Oh, hello there. Are we taking them with us? What are you guys waiting for? Let's go. We are officially on the road to see Showcase Serpents. We get the opportunity, the first opportunity we ever had, honestly, to actually be able to explore his facility with him. And we could not be more grateful for this opportunity. We got another 4 hours or so of driving. We're going to stay at a hotel there, and then we are going to head to his facility in the morning, and we're going to show you every step of the way.
So I'm Sebastian, this is Adam, and we're Showcase Serpents, and we've been friends for 15 years now, a long time, and we had our own separate collections, and then probably 10 years ago now, we combined our collections, and this is our first iteration of building a facility together. So it's been a journey. We built this up from the ground up, combined our collections, and here we are. This is, people come visit us, people are always, we love hosting people, and people are always kind of amazed what we built, but it's been a 10, 12-year journey. This didn't happen overnight. It was a labor of love. But
you guys did a great job.
Well,
it's beautiful.
It's great having you here. This is
pleasure.
It's absolute pleasure having you here. And, really, ball python breeding or reptile breeding, I say often it's a team sport. We don't succeed by ourselves. We succeed because of the friends we have in the industry and by sharing. What's the point of you in your basement by yourself breeding snakes? No one knows about it. You want people to come and see. You want to visit. You want to show animals, and it's inspiring. And we go visit other breeders. We're inspired by this. We're inspired by that. And
yes.
And there we go. So
awesome.
Again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us. This is I feel like a once in a lifetime opportunity for us. So we wanted to come down here and do this for sure with you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Bilal Maddox. Name of my company is Maddox Morphs, and my favorite gene is Monarch. So hopefully I get to give you an idea of what I like within the collection as well.
Bilal's our neighbor, almost our neighbor down the road, and he's here often. You come and visit us, Bilal's often.
As often as I can. Yeah. I get a lot of inspiration from their collection.
Yeah.
It's awesome that you guys have a community of you guys all together because we don't have that. And everyone's so far away, and it's so cool to see that you guys can have your individual companies, but still kind of bounce information and just projects off of each other.
I think we also rely on each other a lot too.
A lot.
When there's things that I can't do, I know I can depend on them.
That is awesome.
Picking up rodents today.
Yeah, exactly.
Divide and conquer.
Yes, absolutely.
1 + 1 = 3 very much when it comes to this community.
Yeah.
All right, how you doing? I'm Clarence from More For Us. I work alongside with Showcase Serpents. I guess you can kind of consider me like the apprentice. I'm the newest guy, but I'm in a position to do the most learning. So love working with these guys, love working with Bilal. Like you said, we all just work together, share ideas, bounce ideas off each other. Plenty of times, Sebastian told me that's a horrible idea. Scrap it, start all over. So
I might have used that exact wording, but yeah.
So we keep each other sharp. We sharpen each other. So, but it's a great conglomerate.
Yeah.
Very awesome. Love this community.
Let's start off with Adam's packing table, because Adam loves a packing table.
I was looking at this. This is awesome.
So we, Adam and I are business partners, and we don't always agree on everything, but we never disagree eventually. We always have a debate about it. We discuss it, the pros and cons, and then we always agree. Sometimes I concede, sometimes you concede. Most of the time, we both agree. Adam wanted a packing table. $2,000. Like, what the hell? $2,000 for a packing table. It's packing. Why do you need a $2,000 packing table?
It's important.
And then weeks went by, and he chipped away at me. And then he got his packing table. Do you want to explain why you love this packing table? And I'm now sold, honestly. I do like the packing table a lot.
I like it.
And I like things neat and tidy and structured. And do you want to talk through why this packing table is important to you in your life? Because Adam, I don't live here. I live in Baltimore, so I'm in here once a week. So between Clarence and Adam, they do the shipping, etc. I do all the social media and the sales and a lot of the planning with Adam. But you guys pack multiple times a week, and so every minute saved is important. So do you want to talk through why this packing table is important to you? And then during the tour, we'll talk through the decisions we made and why we made them in terms of saving time and efficiency as well, because it's every minute saved is a minute saved.
Yep, it's valuable.
Credit where it's due.
Justin Cabelco at Canova is where I first saw his packing table. And I said, that's a great idea. So I started looking into them and I found a model that we liked. But it's having things at arm's reach when packing up. Packing up is, especially in the colder times, is it's a whole thing. You want to pack up the snake properly, you want to keep it warm, you want to make sure they have a nice trip. So just having everything in one spot, efficiently, quickly pack up, especially, some days you're packing up 6, 7, 10 snakes, and it can be very time consuming. So just trying to do things efficiently, have everything you need in one spot. So you're not running around, where's my heat packs, where's my merchandise I want to include, I need this size snake bag, having everything in one area just to try to do things efficiently.
And if you have a look over here on the packing table, everything's just lined up. It's just easy to get. You got your heat packs, etc. And Adam's an innovator. He does and he found these a couple of years ago, these cable ties that have a little push button that allow you to open them easy. You don't have to cut them. And they're just little things that we constantly try. I see you now found the shorter ones too. We don't need the big long ones. Which
when you're packing up a lot of snakes in one bag, if the zip ties are too long, they start ending up being an issue. So I went a little bit shorter.
Yeah. And regularly buyers, when we send them the animals, they go, this is so cool. They're more excited about the little open
The zip tie.
the reusable zip tie than they are about the animal. But just little things that constantly try to save us time, save money and save time, especially on repeatable tasks. Okay, so this was the packing table.
I love this.
Enough about the packing table. Okay, so over here is a holdback rack, and we'll talk through what babies we've got in here. So we hold back very little. Okay. Very, very little.
These are your only holdbacks
These are only holdbacks from last year. So our numbering is very basic, like most breeders. Year 24 clutch number and the snake
number,
and the serial number effectively. There's a couple of animals we bought here, which we'll talk through, but we hold back 2% maybe of our babies. Okay. And for us, it's about generating cash flow to buy the exact baby that we need for a specific project. And we're brutal about holdbacks. The animal has to be absolutely spot on exactly what we need. And then we'll do a holdback. So this is a holdback rack. This year is the best quality holdback rack we've ever had, and each year hopefully it starts to get better and better. Then over here are all our adults. We have our males down the bottom end, and we organize them in some kind of order, from pied to monarch to clown. Those are the three big. We're doing less pied at the moment, but monarch and clown and monsoon. And then over here are the much bigger tubs. Here are the 7 series tubs. Them 10 series tubs from the manufacturer. And what's interesting is we're having now fewer and fewer of the big tubs. And the reason we have fewer and fewer of the big tubs is we're keeping the females for less and less time. Okay. And so we've got a giant genetic striped monarch girl there. She's 4,000 grams. Wow. Maybe it's time that she moves on. Maybe she's not powerful enough any longer. And so I can see a scenario where in probably 2 years' time, Adam, where we've got 6 tubs in there and we repurpose this rack and we put the 5 series on because it makes sense to go and not have as many big girls any longer because they're just not quite powerful enough. So we relentlessly upgrade. If the girls aren't powerful enough, there's Ultramel pied there, which is a beautiful snake, but she's not powerful enough for the projects we do any longer. And so we've got to put her up for sale, and that's another big tub that will go. And will the girls in the 5 series tubs ever get there? Right. I think probably not. There might be a few, but it's not going to be a lot.
It's something we're trying to work on. Yeah. We're trying to create and keep what we call 10-year snakes. If we invest in a female, we want them to be so powerful that they're going to be worth upgrading. Most females, though, that's not every girl. Sometimes you just want to, you have a goal. I want to produce this. I want to get a clutch or 2 out of this girl. But we also try to have these very powerful 10-year girls that are going to be useful for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we carry on down. So the biggest breeder girls, then the smaller breeder girls in some kind of order, the males. And then over here these are babies that we've got left from last season. We had 500 babies. We've got like 80 left now. And then this is
every bin in these was filled up, including we spilled over into the whole back rack.
Yeah.
At a certain point, we're finally.
There was a level of anxiety that we were going to over. And we were not going to buy another rack. Like, we will not buy another rack. We have to. We have to get. Yep. And so we've got, 3/4 of them, more than 3/4, 80% of them are gone. And these are babies now from this current season. Our season's kind of messed up. I think like a lot of breeders now, we almost are 12 months of the year.
Right. So this is the same. We're kind of experiencing the same thing. We have females that are about to lay maybe in February, January, February. And that's a first for me. I've always had my females were pairing after Thanksgiving and then going from there. Now it's different.
It's totally different. And we invested 2 years ago in an ultrasound. And previously we got every female, we locked her 4 times with a male, and we would follow the cycle and we wore our males out. We had success, but it was not scientific.
Yeah.
And 2 years ago, we bought an ultrasound. 3 years ago, probably bought an ultrasound. And Adam relentlessly, every month, ultrasounds, and we know which females to pair with which males, and we way more scientific with it now. And it's tedious doing the ultrasounding, but you've got it down to an art now. It takes you 10 seconds per snake. Yeah. And we very thoughtful about what we pair to not waste the males, because your males are your biggest investment. There's some really expensive males in the male rack. And they've only got to find a number of females that they can cover. Yeah. And so we are very careful about how we pair and when we pair. And it is now almost 12 months a year. If the follicles are the right size, the male goes in.
Yep. Girls tell us when it's time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the other way around anymore.
Yeah. That's awesome. Ultrasound really saves your males, like you're saying, for the long term. And it makes it easier on you guys because you can be like, okay, this one's not quite ready. Let's pair this male with this female instead. Yes. And then, it's a little bit less stressful when you're like, oh my gosh, but I have 5 females that I want to pair this one male to, and he hasn't locked with this one, and you don't know where they are in their follicular development. And
that's what we did previously. We had a Google sheet, and we did up to 4 locks per female. And we had some energetic males. They weren't always that powerful, but we had some energetic males that were covering 15 females, 20 females. They're getting 2-3 locks per female, and they were working their behinds off, and they were continuing to eat, so they were strong boys. But it was hard on them, and there was no science. It was a dumb strategy. Now that we've got an ultrasound, and it's not expensive, $1,000 for an ultrasound, and you've got a ultrasound bang, and you can see within 3 seconds what's there, and then we can make a decision accordingly.
Yep.
So talk through a couple of other things we did here as well, just in terms of where we put our sinks. I know talking about sinks is a really boring topic. However,
it's important.
It's so important because first of all, down in this basement, the struggle to get water is the struggle's real in this basement. To get wastewater and fresh water in here was not easy. And so we had limitations where we could put it. But we just thought, we planned it out and we put it on we drew it all out and we looked how far the distances are and where we could physically put a sink and where it made sense from a time management perspective.
Right.
You don't want to sink in the back corner and you're having to walk stuff across. And so we just thought, when you're building or designing a space, just think very hard. Every step you take, every step you take is another step you have to take 1,000,000 times over.
Yeah.
And so put them in positions, map it out, and do a little bit of time analysis and number of steps, and work out what actually makes sense. We would have ideally like one more sink in here, but physically from a water and wastewater perspective, it just wasn't possible. So we struggled just to get these two, and we actually really, Adam, you were very inventive.
We were taking a lot of drywall down for running the new electrical. We were running dedicated 20-amp circuits for the racks. And we just we were working with the plumber, and we said, there's a sink, the kitchen is above us, so there's got to be something we can tap into. So we started taking down more drywall until we found what we needed.
Yeah.
Same over here. There was a shut-off valve in the mechanical room, so we started taking drywall down until we found, okay, we can tap into here for water. We're trying to avoid the pumps for the wastewater, so we were trying to find actual drainage stacks that we could tap into. So we just basically kept taking drywall down until
we found a solution.
Found it, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the sinks. The floor, we lifted the floor up. We put this down so we can wash it really easily. It still stains slightly. The cocoa still stains, and we've got to wash it semi-regularly. But it gives us a really hygienic environment. Animal husbandry, Adam is obsessed about, and both of us, about hygiene and animal husbandry.
Super important.
It's
to keep everything clean for sure.
You do your best,
Yeah.
And
we love the epoxy. Easy to clean, but it's not indestructible. We found it's still we beat it up a little bit, but it's still
still beautiful, and it just looks so clean in here. I'm sure you guys being here every day, you see your imperfections, if you will, but us coming in, we're like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful.
It's a nice environment to be in,
Yeah.
And so I'll show you. We've got a little storage room here, which is, just out of interest sake, did we replace the light bulb in here? Is it working? Is there lighting here? There is. Well done.
Oh, wow.
We try to have everything structured and organized.
Yeah.
You know, the shelves lined up. We've got the cocoa huts lined up there. We buy it by the pallet. We have all our boxes laid out here. We build the number of boxes we need. We then fill it up, and then we redo it. We've got the cafeteria. Our cafeteria is over here.
We feed majority frozen thaws.
Holy moly, that is awesome.
So we need,
Big freezers.
yes.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, lots of
Yeah. Part of
storage space.
Oh my. Yeah.
what we're known for is frozen thawed. So
Okay.
we sell probably 20% of sales we get are people living in apartments who are excited to buy from us because they know we guarantee if we say it's eating frozen thawed, it's legitimately eating
Frozen
thawed.
Yeah.
You know, we still got 5% of snakes that won't eat frozen thawed, they eat live. And we've got a breeder who once a week we go pick up rodents from, and we just store the rodents. But we don't, you know, Adam, I don't know.
90% frozen thawed feeding, maybe 10% live.
Okay. Okay.
And Adam's just got a knack of moving steaks from live to frozen thawed like no one I've ever known. You're like just like the frozen thawed whisperer. And you just love converting them to frozen thawed.
It's a technique for sure, because not everyone can master it. So many people have that issue.
You know, it comes down to where you're holding the frozen thawed. You know, I like to try to get it right behind the hips, and I will literally just dance them around like they're
Alive.
alive, basically. You know, going down the side. You know, just try to simulate what a live rat would do.
Mhm.
And you know, you got to be patient with them. A lot of times they're they're striking at it defensively. Got to give them a little more time.
Yeah.
Exposure over and over again. You know, they see it's not a threat, and then eventually they'll take it. So
Yeah.
it is a little time consuming getting them converted. Once they're converted, I feel like it's so easy.
Yeah.
You know, you just go down the line, bam, 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 bam. You don't have to, you know, when they take it, you don't have to go back. You don't have to be worried that I left a live animal there.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you defrost 200 rodents at a time, and you literally just bang, 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 bang.
Yep.
You'll message me at 3 a.m. I just had a great feeding. Adam loves
3 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's,
Adam loves feeding at night. Like, just had a great
I
feeding.
don't know if I got them in that kind of routine.
Yeah.
But if I try feeding during the day, I always
Nothing.
have better in the evening. I always have a better, you know.
We feed at night as well. I wouldn't say 3 a.m., but we do.
Well, what happens is I always, you know, with frozen thawed, I never, if I need to feed 300 snakes frozen thawed, I fall out maybe 150,
Okay.
and I'll see how it goes.
Mm.
But if they still want more, I'll thaw out more. You know, I'll do maybe 3 rounds in a night.
Okay.
So I usually end up at like 2, 3 in the morning, and I'm like, hey, yeah, it was a great day.
It's the text I always wanted, 3 a.m. Okay, and then let's
Very
talk
beautiful. Very
Thanks.
clean and
a
organized.
little bit about here as well. So we've got a quarantine rack that we have over there. So any new snakes that come in sit in the quarantine rack for a while until we know they're eating properly and there's no health issues. The whole kitchen area, which is my favorite area here, we built so we can sit and work and host people. I sit here regularly and do other work for my own company. We have lunch with people. We host people for drinks. Put beers in there so people regularly come around and have a beer with us. And then I walk in incubator as well, which it's pretty empty now. But you know, last season I had 40 clutches in there at that time, which is really fun because you can see them hatching. We've got all the dates on the front, so you know when they're going to hatch.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we walked in, my eyes went straight to the incubator. I know everyone's probably like, oh, look at all the rats. Now I'm like, incubator.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is beautiful.
That was our mission. Our most important thing when we were designing
Yeah.
is to have the incubator that's just holds its temperature as well, easy to use, and it's so important.
Yeah.
The most important part of the facility.
So we get asked often, you guys love Monarch. I think we probably got the biggest Monarch collection in America. And then we get the question is, do you have any Ultramel? The answer to the question is yes, 100%. We've got 5 Ultramels, which we'll talk about later. But there's one clutch in the incubator at the moment that is, to me, a phenomenal clutch. It's one of the best clutches we've ever had. And I think if anyone questions our loyalty towards Ultramel as well, that it will show you what quality of Ultramel we've got and what we're striving for. So I won't take it out, but it's a red stripe, yellow belly Ultramel het clown to a het monsoon, het Ultramel, het clown. So we are hoping for some codom, multi-codom Ultramel clowns that are het monsoon. And that to us, that is the cutting edge of that project. And that for us, by the way, is inspiring for Monarch too. Because this is, Ultramel is what, 10 years ahead of Monarch? Maybe more, a decade at least. And those are the type of projects we can do as well. I was at Justin Kavelka's facility last week, and he had a couple of Ultramel clowns that had multiple codoms in them that were phenomenal. And given the darkness of Monarch, the ability then for us to go and chase those projects, that's a 10-year project. That takes 10 years to get there. But it's very inspiring. So we regularly take inspiration from Ultramel, plus many other projects too. But that's kind of the quality of Ultramel project that we are now striving towards.
That's awesome.
Just asking about it. Also known as banana monsoon, apparently. This one's banana monsoon.
Oh my God, here you go.
So
Okay.
it looks like you have them broken up: Pied,
Roughly.
Monsoon, Monarch,
Clown.
Clown,
Yeah.
Okay.
And a bit of everything.
and then mix of your girls.
There used to be very clear lines, but now it's all blending together.
All blending together.
That's because Pied's gonna have that, and then that, and then
Yeah, this side's all Monarchs, and the other two are all monsoon
Okay.
stuff, monsoon adjacent things. When we combined our collections, I was into albino stuff, and Sebastian was into Ultramel
Okay.
And lavender.
and lavender. Yeah,
Mm.
but your Ultramel stuff really stuck out to me. This first time I saw Ultramel in person. We still have a couple of those.
We still
Ultramel
got
girls.
my 2 original Ultramel girls, which are
Oh
now
wow.
giant girls.
Yeah.
So should we start doing some comparisons?
Yeah.
I don't want to focus too much on Ultramel versus Monarch, but I think it's interesting to see the two side by side, and we can put them on the
Absolutely.
table there.
Your Ultramel stuff that we originally got, plus some of our early investments in Ultramel before we even saw Monarch, before we knew about Monarch, those girls ended up being really good producers, all of them. So our Ultramel stuff is a little bit further along than our
Okay.
Monarch stuff, just because we were invested in Ultramel before. We already had the girls up to size. So a lot of our Ultramel projects we're very excited about. Our Ultramel Monsoon Clown, we're making progress on. We're doing the same thing with Monarch. It's just we're a little bit further ahead on Ultramel.
Yeah.
We're really equally
They're
excited.
both beautiful genes, and it's kind of cool that you have a gene that is kind of similar, but it's paving the way so that you can kind of learn what you can do with Monarch as well, because you can see.
It gives you some indication.
Yeah.
Some indication.
Really
There's
split hairs.
and-
yeah.
and there's space in every collection for both. But now we've got this base stock that is really powerful that we can now build on, which we are. We don't have that many exciting visual Monarchs to show today because we've got a ton of hits and double hits and triple hits and quad hits
Yeah.
that are now 2-3 years away. Come back in 3 years' time and hopefully you go like, wow, what the hell's that?
Yeah.
But it's been a journey. We continue to keep our eyes open on what's available across the world because there's stuff being produced in Belgium that
Right.
we just don't have, and it will save us 3 years.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We go and buy. There was an acid Monarch that Adam still wants that we probably will go and buy an acid Monarch, which will save us 3 years.
Yes.
And then we're on our way.
Yeah. Sometimes it's worth it to invest into importing something instead of waiting 5 years, 10 years, like you're saying, to get that exact animal that they already have.
Exactly right.
We also, when you're at the edge of the project, you can't always, I want a full head or something like that. So we ended up taking a chance on a bunch of 66%,
Okay.
50% het clowns, Monarch het clowns,
Yeah,
Monarch
true.
het desert ghosts. Got them in, found out who was het, who wasn't, and and then once you prove out that het,
Yeah.
it's enormously beneficial
And
to
with
the project.
genetic testing now, which
And that was before genetic testing.
before genetic testing, I mean, you're really gambling sometimes. But now with genetic testing, that gamble is still a little bit there, but you can confirm whether your gamble was worth it pretty quickly.
So,
Much faster.
Yeah.
so it's crazy not to genetically test if you can.
Right.
If it's
Now,
if
yes,
it's now,
yeah.
100%. And we genetically test a lot of stuff.
So do we.
A lot.
Yeah.
Probably a quarter of the snakes in this collection have been genetically tested somewhere along the line. I mean, I trust the quality of genetic testing a lot, but we still, there's human error, so we always double check to make sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an absolute game changer.
We've been all in on it since it became available.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
As-
you know.
We as soon as we could, we were sending sheds out as well. It's very, very awesome to be able to have that.
Yeah, we big
Yeah.
into Mandarin, NL Mandarin, and that genetic test is probably going to be available this coming week
Okay.
to us, as in November 2025.
That's very exciting
Fingers,
news.
fingers
Yeah.
crossed. And for us, we've kept back a whole lot of snakes here, which is hard because you've grown them up now to 800 grams on the hope, because Mandarin is amazing in some genes and very hard to see in others. It's a remarkable gene. But I don't want to go and sell a snake for $100 if it's actually a $5,000 snake, because it actually legitimately does have the Mandarin gene that is very powerful in other projects. So we've held back a number of snakes, which is tough because you've given them for a year. So we've been waiting and speaking to the guys that do the shed testing. Like, when are you going? Like,
Yeah.
we need it. Like, he was saying, send us your sample so we can do it. So it's been a journey. So it's now, shed testing is also, it's got rid of a lot of the noise and nonsense. Anybody that's pretending a snake is something, shed testing just stops that nonsense.
Yep.
Like, this is what it is. The shed test has confirmed it, and everybody moves on.
Yep. Absolutely. It stops the background chatter, if you will.
Exactly.
And, it puts a solid answer that some
Exactly.
people really need to invest sometimes. There's some, I understand if as a smaller company, it's very
a lot of
scary.
money. It's a lot of
Yeah.
money. It's
It's
you invest in.
scary.
This is why. So we use Clutch to manage our collection, and we're going to Clutch attaches the shed result to that snake.
Yes.
It physically cannot be changed. So you cannot go in there and physically change it. You cannot pretend in 5 years' time that snake was not what it was. And so it's now locked in. You could send a fake shed, you could send from another snake, but the results from that shed that you've sent in is locked in, and that's important. That's important. Trust and openness and transparency in this industry is important.
Especially now, because you can sell something that has a 50% head that's not actually 50, not even 50% head. But with Clutch, you can't do that.
No, you can't. You 100% can't. As long as you shed tested it, you can still sell as a 50% if you haven't shed tested.
Yeah.
I think some people, there's still a risk that somebody shed tests, they get a negative result, and they still sit as 50% hit. That's up to them.
Yeah.
And if they're not doing it through Clutch, then they can be. But I think Clutch legitimizes those results and locks it in forever.
It's very cool.
Okay.
Right now, you can get 15% off of any shed test through Clutch. With Clutch, you can always look back at the lineage if anything ever shows up that's a little strange on your shed tests. You can see the whole history of the animal that you purchased and their parents and the previous breeders. Also, it offers this amazing gene engine that helps you predict the odds of your pairing so you can better your results in your productions. Clutch is an amazing tool, and we are proud to be sponsored by them for this video.
That is straight Ultramel, and that is straight Monarch.
Wow.
And so we talk through a couple of the differences, and feel free to comment yourselves as well. So it's really, the main difference is just the darkness of the tones. If you look, let's try and get a head for you. So you can see a head there of that girl.
It's got a very soft face.
Yeah.
And then hers is a bit darker.
How much darker is that?
It's almost a burgundy difference.
So I think that's why they called it burgundy originally out of Europe, because it does look burgundy. It is a true burgundy color. But I think as a result, I think long term, we'll find in 20 years' time, to be proven still, but in 20 years' time, the projects you'll be able to, the quality of the projects you'll be able to do with Monarch, in 20 years' time, you compare the two side by side in 20 years' time, I expect the Monarch will produce far more interesting projects because of the darkness and the richness of those colors.
The contrast between the dark and light.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I love about the yellow belly, as we all know, yellow belly brings in intensity in color, saturation in color. And in that dorsal stripe, you can really see how the yellow belly accentuates that mandarin rustic color. You really just see it in the dorsal. It opens up the dorsal and really bring that color in that we love. I can only imagine something like this and say another dose of mandarin or covered with hypo. That dorsal would be a absolute eye catcher. it would be no way you could turn your head away from it. And so I'm a big fan of Yellow Belly and the Mandarin Project, and look forward to getting it into some of my Mandarin Clown projects as well. Oh yeah, and by the way, Clarence, More For Us, follow me on YouTube and on Instagram, More For Us LLC, Quality Parents, and on Facebook, TikTok, and all the good stuff too as well.
So this boy here was a joint project with me and Showcase. I am biased because it's to the darker genes. So I was able to pick this up from Palumbo Pythons. I believe he's out of ball pythons at this moment. But this is a hurricane monarch. And what drove me to this was the darkness it brought while still having the blushing inside the dorsal, including the busyness and the pattern. Now, personally, this isn't the greatest example of hurricane, but at the time there were only 2 created. This was several years ago. And now I believe Canadian Regis, she's produced several. But this boy has been extremely busy, both at my place and he's been putting in work here. And hopefully we'll be able to share some awesome babies with you all soon.
Yeah.
So when you say that the pattern is hard to disrupt the pattern, it is. But when you compare this to a monsoon clown, you can clearly see the difference. And my personal opinion so far, the fire in the monsoon clown was the best combo created. Yeah. That's what Mojave does. So a lot of times you don't want, the Mojave in certain combos, but look what it does to the monsoon. It's almost needed. That's Mojave. And mine is Mojave, but and people stay away from that, but look what it did.
With age too.
Oh yeah.
Like
This doesn't change.
So that's the stuff.
Super pastel monarch.
I see a little bit of the influence of the super pastel on the head, but the rest of the body.
I think the super pastel actually helped, like the blushing. It's a lot brighter in here, but I think it blended well.
Yeah.
That's why I feel Monarch handles pastel very well. Because for a super pastel, this doesn't look bad to me.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so talk a little bit about what we keep back and what we don't and how we make the decisions around that. And there's no formula that works for everybody, but the formula that works for us, and human beings, we're emotional people. And we spend 10 years on a project, sometimes longer, and we care about certain snakes more than others. Just like, everyone always says they don't have a favorite kid, but really they do. Not me. I love my kids equally, but and so there is an emotional connection to some of these animals. And Adam and I run this as a business. This, first and foremost, Showcase Serpents has to, at the end of each month, we have to be able to pay the bills. And we have to be able to buy more animals. This whole facility was built on the back of, during COVID, our sales were really strong. We saved up a ton of money and we built the whole facility on it. Doesn't mean we haven't poured in a ton of our own money over the years. And we take no money out. We don't, every dollar we make, we pour straight back into the business again. But it needs to be run as a business. Our social media needs to be run as a business, our MorphMarket, our reply to adverts, etc. And so we look every year at what we produce. And last year we produced 500 babies, which was our most ever. It might have been 400. It was 58 clutches, but 400 babies. And it was our most ever. And we looked at what did we produce and what ties in to our future projects. What truly ties in. Not that's a cool snake, we should keep it. Every mouth that has to be fed and cleaned, which Clarence helps us do, is another 5 minutes every single time. And it adds up. You don't calculate all in your head, and it adds up.
Time especially.
over time especially. And so we look and see, these are 400 babies. We need to generate cash because cash is important. And a lot of what we produce is very high end that just doesn't quite fit into what we're looking for. And so we sit down, we analyze every baby at the very high end. And does it truly fit in? Is it truly, truly an animal that's going to add to our long-term projects?
Right.
And then we'll keep that baby back. And we then look back, we've kept back 25 babies. Therefore, 25 adults need to go.
Okay.
And we look at adults that, and some males and some females. We kind of look, the males almost look like we're renting them because they're here for 2-3 years and then they go out. The females, we try for 10 years. That's growing harder and harder because this hobby's, shed testing has accelerated the speed at which people can work. Just like AI is accelerating everything, shed testing is accelerating everything. And so we look very closely at what females we've got, what ones haven't bred that year, because often we've kept them back for a year and they haven't bred this year or they haven't produced this year. And then we know they're going to produce next year, but actually now, a year later, the female's not powerful enough. We make the tough decision. We fed that female for a year. She needs to go. So it's literally one in, one out. And we're ruthless about it. This is a business. This is what we have to do to succeed. And we've got to, it's this arms race of continuing to just improve the quality and the strength of your bench. And then we generate the cash and we take that cash to scour the world for the right male or the right female. We just bought that as a desert ghost clown. It would take us forever to produce that snake.
Yeah.
That snake's going to go into that boy's going to go into a lot of what we've got.
It's a powerhouse male.
It's a powerhouse male, but the 30 grand or whatever we spent on that snake was generated by producing animals that we didn't hold back, that sometimes we sacrificed a bit. We've just sold a Monarch head clown that is 1,000 grams, and Adam why the hell do we sell this girl? and it's a fair point. But both of us know that we needed that cash to continue pouring into other projects. Yeah. And so there's not a strict formula that we've got, but we hold each other accountable. And we sometimes disagree on it, and we'll talk through it. And we'll go does this make sense? Doesn't it make sense? And you call me out on it. And so there we go. So this is just a bit of luck. Paul came around. So Paul is a friend of mine who also happens to be a contractor, and he came around because his wife has a snake with us and he's picking it up. But Paul was the person that actually, by chance today, fitted out this entire facility for us. So you didn't lay the floor, you didn't do the HVAC, etc., but you did everything else. And you helped us think through these designs. Adam and I came up with designs. We visited multiple breeders. We thought about what do we want to do, more importantly, what don't we want to do. And having you on this journey with it, having a contractor who, first of all, was a really close friend, but secondly, someone who I could actually rely on to come to with ideas and say, what do you think of this? And you'd say, that's a good idea, but
Certainly.
How about we do it this way? And without you, we would not have the quality of facility we've got today and the mistakes we would have made that we pay a heavy price for. You put the sink in the wrong place. You don't think at the time, but the hours it adds on every single week. And so, you built that incubator and you were so thoughtful about how you built the incubator and how you turned it around and how you insulated. Yeah. Do you want to talk? I'll put you on the spot.
Sure,
you just arrived to pick up some rodents, pick up a snake. But talk us through briefly in 1 minute, the journey we went on together here, a long journey, like a 2-year journey that we went on together here.
We walked in here, it was a house basement, and then we just pulled it apart and got the HVAC guys in, had to help them a lot. They seemed to be putting things in the wrong places. It helped to have a bartender's knowledge of where the sink should go. Yeah. That didn't hurt. And it was fun. It was the most fun job I've done. Incubator was an interesting one. Turned the closet round, turned literally the other way around. Got that completely sealed, which was interesting. To get, like you said, it's a perfect 82 degrees the whole time. And then probably the most fun, I enjoyed building the little island over there. So that was
which pays dividends.
Artistic.
It pays dividends for us for years to come through. We'd sit there and have beers late at night and talk about life.
Yeah.
And rugby and cricket and everything South African.
That. But we are. It was fun. It was a one-man project. I had a little bit of time, so I was able to say, okay, it won't be turned around in 2 weeks, but we didn't need that. And we were able to go on the fly and change what we needed if and where and when. So it was tremendously fun.
And an interesting little side note as well. So your wife came to visit our facility and she had never kept snakes in her life.
No.
She's like, this is so cool. Can I get a snake? And she ended up getting a couple of ball pythons, some from us, some from someone else. And we've now we gave you one of our females and we bred it and it's got
We're hoping.
It's hoping to produce babies, and you're coming here to pick that up, and let's see what happens on that journey. And she had no connection to snakes.
No, she had no idea that she had snakes, and just I randomly said, "Oh, Sebastian, you know, he breeds ball pythons, and she's crazy about all kinds of animals. We've just picked up 4 guinea pigs again, so we're on the rodent kick." And she was like, "Awesome, I want a ball python," and I was like, "All right, let's go have a word and see."
I know
what kind of guy. So it worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Yeah.
Years later.
Well, thank you.
All
Appreciate
right.
your insight.
You're
There we
welcome.
go. It's a year old now, and it's looking as good today. This is what needs to now go into from our perspective, what we're going to put into monsoon, what we're going to put into tornado. One day we get tornado, what we're going to put into Monarch, and try and keep that brightness of the Monarch Desert Ghost to add this back in and see what we get. And this is so bright, but it's not a super. It's just a normal Mandarin clown. Head Desert Ghost, but Mandarin clown.
I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. This was a lot of fun for us and an absolutely amazing experience to be able to go on a facility tour with Sebastian and Adam. I couldn't be more grateful for them allowing us to come on down to check it out. And there's just so much thought process that goes into setting up your facility the way you want it to be. And being able to see some of the behind the scenes and talk to them about some of the do's and don'ts of setting up a facility gave us some good ideas for the future of our facility. In the comments below, let us know what was your favorite part of this facility tour and what was your favorite snake that you saw. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.